There's so many things I could tease about Children of the Atom, but I will say one thing, and that's new characters.
Yeah, that never happened before. Never in the 60-year history of the X-Men have there ever been new characters. It's just been the same people, just Professor X, Beast, Cyclops, Angel, Not Gay Iceman, and Marvel Girl. No new characters, ever. You're breaking so much new ground.
X-Men is supposed to be something that is, important to the now.
No, it's not. The X-Men is supposed to be a metaphor for the racial tensions of the 1960s, and it evolved into a metaphor about outsiders. Whenever it deviates from that, it starts to fall apart. The only way it kinda survives is if it's about adventure stories. It has nothing to do with being in the now, because the now will soon be the past, and then everything you did will be dated.
And so what is more now than Zoomers?
The sad part is you're actually trying. You're actually putting in effort, and this is literally the best you can do. Alright, fine. Tell me about these completely forgettable fourth-rate DeviantArt OCs.
Children of the Atom has 5 new characters at the heart of it that Vita very meticulously wrote out entire backstories and histories and families and...
You think I didn't notice that you're trying to avoid saying she? That's why you keep saying Vita, because Vita identifies as non-binary, because you totally can't tell what sex this person is from even a casual glance, and uses the pronouns they and them. So go on, Chris, with the incredible verbal gymnastics to avoid calling an obvious woman a woman. Now go on and tell me what deep biographies Vita created for these completely forgettable characters.
One of them has a TikTok, one of them has a fitness Insta, one of them is basically the moderator for the mutant subreddit, one of them is a cosplayer, and the other one makes mutant music.
Honey, those aren't biographies. They're hobbies. Dated hobbies. This is why you're not supposed to make pop culture references in comics, because it won't take long for those to pass out of common knowledge. TikTok is the new Vines. No one's going to know what you're talking about in 5 years.
For so long, it's like the larger media in the X-Men universe is like, mutants are bad and like the X-Men are evil because they're mutants and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what would Zoomers think of that? They would be like, no, they're great. Like,
oh my fucking God. Now we know why Jonathan Hickman looked so depressed in that picture from the retailer summit. Vita. Hickman just turned the X-Men into a bunch of isolationist plant people. They've created an island where only mutants are allowed to be there. They've literally gone around the world rounding up mutants to bring to the island. They just tried this with the Fantastic Four and Franklin Richards and got their asses handed to them by the Fantastic Four because they don't play. These people have threatened the world by basically saying we could wipe you out whenever we want, but because we're better than you, we won't. Instead, we'll give you these drugs that will cure diseases and help you live longer on the condition that you do whatever we say. They're acting like living gods on Earth, holding the world's governments hostage. These X-Men aren't cool. They're the mutant North Korea. You're thinking about the old X-Men. Those are gone now, and that story's already been told by Grant Morrison. He beat you by 20 years and did a better job than you ever could.
How the X-Men react to these new characters who are their sidekicks is a major part of the story that is going to have all sorts of ripples through their titles and ours.
Yes, because the X-Men have never dealt with having children around them before. Chris, did you read the fucking X-Men comics? Did you watch the cartoons? Did you watch the movies? I have to ask because only someone who's never seen those would say something as vapid as you just said.
Very excited to have Vita Ayala and Bernard Chang as part of this title.
Bernard really brought the thunder on this. It's really incredibly dynamic.
Because he not only had to design these superhero identities, but also these civilian identities and like people's moms and like their little brother. And he's making these characters real and whole in a way that a lot of artists probably couldn't.
Yes, because it's not been a thing since the beginning of superhero comics. Only Bernard Chang has the skill to do what literally hundreds of artists have done for the last 80 years. You know what? Get the fuck off my screen. You two, both of you go. I want to see the person in charge. No, not you. Yes, you. That's the one I want to see. You have no fucking idea what you're doing. None. None at all. This is a fucking embarrassment. You let Hickman rewrite the X-Men, and now you let this special snowflake fuck up his story. Get the fuck off the screen. I'm talking about you. That's not an invitation to appear. Since you like dated references, be gone. I want to talk to the person in charge, not you. You. Yes, you. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. So I'll make a deal with you. I will do your job for free. You don't have to pay me. I will be your black gym shooter for free. Because this shit is ridiculous. They don't know what they're talking about. They literally don't know what they're talking about. I'm not even going to finish the video. And here's why.
It's almost like the kids are our perspective. So anything that you don't know, you're discovering it through these kids. I don't think we've seen this perspective in X-Men comics before. And I think people are going to super dig it.
Really? So there's no Kitty Pryde, no Jubilee, no New Mutants, no X-Factor, no Generation X, no new X-Men, no young X-Men. We've never seen young mutants reacting to the adventures of the X-Men before. That's just never happened in the 57 years of the X-Men. You know what? Get the fuck off my screen, and you too. Both of you stay off my screen because you have no idea what you're doing. The one in charge, come here. Don't even try it. You. This is going to collapse the retail industry. I want you to understand that. No one is going to buy this book. It's getting downvoted into oblivion. No one is interested in these half-assed knockoffs. I knew this shit was lame when I was 12 and creating characters who were kids of the X-Men. I knew it was lame as I was doing it, but I was 12. You've got two grown-ass people acting like this shit is hot. It's not hot. This shit is like Trailblazer in a fucking bikini. No one wants to see this. It's nice that you gave Snowflake and Safe Space a job, but nobody's buying this book or the other one. What are you doing? Why are you putting out books you know won't sell? Marvel's been doing this for 10 years, pretty much non-stop since 2014, and with rare exception, none of the books have sold well, let alone been hits. You've sucked out everything that made Marvel interesting and replaced it with these fourth-rate ideas. The best idea you have is mired in whatever the fuck Jonathan Hickman is trying to do, and even that's really not that interesting. What are you doing? Why have you turned Marvel into your little pet project? Do you not want people to buy your books? I guess this is why you only gave retailers a discount instead of making the books returnable, because you know you'd be getting all this shit back. But my offer still stands. I will be your Black Gem shooter. You don't have to like me, but I know I can fix this, and that's a goddamn shame because there are far more talented people than me who could set this right that you're not hiring so you can hire these two people. But my offer is still there. Give it to me. Give it to me, and I'll do what you should have done 10 years ago.